On this final show of the week, I'm clearing out my rumor inbox and sharing what I know about several sprint car drivers and teams, including what's up with Chase Randall, Danny Sam's potential plans, and several other names to watch. We'll also talk weekend racing results down under and more. Let's go. It's Thursday, January 2nd. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is DIRTRACKR Daily presented by Kubota Genuine Parts. Should we talk about some sprint car rumors today? I'm sure I'm going to ruffle some feathers with this information, but it certainly wouldn't be the first time I've pissed people off on this show. We've hit on a few things in recent days, but I've got a bunch of stuff on my list that have been sent from various sources here in the last little bit and few days, few weeks. So let's dive into some of these situations. First, I know we talked very briefly about Chase Randall yesterday. Going back to the summer, Randall left the TKS Motorsports sprint car and he closed out the year bouncing around to a few different teams. His last 410 appearances were against High Limit at Texas and he raced the Trophy Cup. He's currently in Australia for the winter racing there. Some of the cars he ran late in the year included the Beaver 12. He ran with Tyner Hurst at the Trophy Cup, the LA Competition 58 in Pennsylvania. He ran 4 Crown with Kevin Newton and the Kroll Racing 14H. All through the offseason, he's been linked to a bunch of different open rides that included the Jason Myers 14, the Roth 83, supposedly the Crouch team, and others. It's my understanding, though, that deals couldn't be put together for any of those teams, even though Randall has sponsorship to bring. I mentioned on the show yesterday that a family-owned car might be his future, and based on information from multiple sources, that is the plan. When the TKS sprint car showed up to World Finals with Corey Elias, the Albaugh sponsorship was no longer on it. And word is Albaugh decided to stay with Randall. They're using that backing to get their own team set up again. This is the same Albaugh, obviously, that sponsors Carson Macedo at Jason Johnson Racing. Randall previously ran a family deal in the Bush's Chicken 9 adorned car, and Bush's is actually on his ride in Australia as well. There is some thought that they might be contemplating a high limit run as well, so stick around. This might be a team to pay attention to for that. Another possibility for high limit is Danny Sam's. He posted back on Christmas Eve that they are going to run a national tour next year, and I'd heard they were having discussions with both sides, both high limit and the Outlaws. One source told me not long after that after Sam's post that they are likely going high limit with an announcement expected soon. I know Chase Rodman talked about Sam's on a recent video. He'd be a solid addition to either series. With the shorter schedule and the freedom, though, I think high limit makes a lot of sense for Sam's and his team. On the West Coast, it wasn't long ago that Hank Davis announced he was going to run a bunch of 410 stuff in 2025 with Shannon Wheatley. Wheatley's 45 sprint car ran a bunch of races last season with Landon Brooks, and they picked up a weekly win at Skagit, plus an Outlaw top 10 at Cedar Lake. That's that white sprint car with the blue 45. No word on Brooks' future plans, but I'm told that Davis and Wheatley could be looking at a bunch of NARC racing this season. If they don't run the full schedule, they will be running supposedly quite a bit of that schedule. It was thought late in the year that Davis was a candidate for the Michael Dutcher car, but this deal with Wheatley is a solid landing spot for him. 2 other names to throw out here. The first is Sye Lynch. He's been talked about as a potential series full-timer in the past, and he had a solid troll job back on New Year's Eve. He posted a black and white photo to social media of him and some friends in a casino next to the high limit area. Certainly no confirmation of anything, but he definitely had folks talking about that. His name hasn't been one I've heard recently being thrown around as being a national tour guy, so we'll have to wait and see on that. The other driver to watch over the next month or so is Kelby Watt. 40 410 races in 2024, including stints with Bill Rose, TKS, and his family-owned car. He's still very new to 410 competition, having just 51 total starts in his career, but I've heard his name connected to several deals through the silly season. I know he's probably off the radar for most sprint car fans, but he had some respectable runs this past season against the Outlaws and high limit. I would not be surprised to see him land somewhere before all the dust is settled. And one final note for you on the rumor front. I was on the Drivers Project podcast this week. Host Daryl Turford asked me what information I was sitting on currently. The big one is a crew chief change coming for a top sprint car team in the sport. One of my good sources clued me in about this in recent days, so that will be something to watch for. I'm still gathering some information on this one, so when I know more, I will update you guys. I could see this being a situation where the team doesn't make an announcement, so we'll have to wait and see if this is something they want to put out publicly before the season starts. They've made crew chief announcements before, but maybe they won't this time. We'll have to wait and see, but I'll keep you guys posted on that. The Dirt Late Model offseason, it's officially over as of this weekend, and action is headlined by the Wild West Shootout at Vado Speedway Park. The schedule at the West Shootout, always a little odd, so I'm going to run you through it here. Here's the deal. They practice this Friday night. They then race Saturday and Sunday. Monday is an off day. Tuesday is a practice day. They then race next Wednesday, the 8th. They then take Thursday off and then race again Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So between this Friday and next Sunday, the 12th, they race 6 nights with 2 practice nights in between and a couple of off days. Besides the super late models, there are also X mods and modifieds on the various undercards. 4 of the 6 nights for the late models are 10,000 to win and 600 to start, and 2, the first Saturday and the final Sunday, both of those are 25,000 to win and 1,000 to start. Last year, they were in the 40s for a car count for the late models. I would expect something similar this season. The field's going to be headlined by names like Brandon Shepard, Bobby Pierce, Mike Marlar, Garrett Alberson, Drake Troutman making his first start with J.R. Smith, Tyler Erb, Dale McDowell, all those guys going to be there. Once action is complete at Vado following January 12th, a lot of these teams will then haul ass cross country to start speed weeks with Lucas at Golden Isles on January 15th. In 2024, Bobby Pierce won 4 of 6 features. He won the week-long points championship as well. Cade Dillard and Kyle Larson also picking up wins. No Larson this year, and I also don't see the bonus deal where drivers winning multiple races could win extra cash. I know that was kind of press releases and things like that being talked about in advance of previous years. I don't see any of that this year, so I'm guessing it's gone. If you are headed for Vado, the Flow Racing will have live streaming coverage all week. Also this weekend is the Ice Bowl at Talladega. A bunch of divisions there, headlined by 7,500 to win for super late models. I'd love to tell you who's expected to race this one, but I can't find any details on that. There's nothing on the Talladega Short Track social media channels or the website or my race pass. Ryan Gustin, the winner at this show last year, they had 32 cars at that one. No flow streaming this year for the Ice Bowl. Things have shifted instead over to Crate Racing at USA TV. At the Tulsa Shootout, preliminary action continues through Friday. They've been on track already for multiple hours today, and then things get serious on Saturday with Golden Drillers on the line. I haven't seen that there's been any top-of-the-ramp brawls this year. That's always good. But we did have Anton Hernandez DQ'd over an illegal engine. We've seen Ricky Thornton Jr. break a power plant in A-Class wing. He's going to have to run through the soup there. We have seen a few wins from Kyle Busch and some decent charges through races from Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson. Clinton Boyle's also looking like he's having a good weekend as well. Racing live over on Flow if you want to tune in all weekend. If you are curious how things are going down under, we've seen James McFadden and Brad Sweet pick up sprint car wins in recent days. At Bunbury on New Year's, it was J-Mac topping Ryan Newton and Kerry Madsen. And just here a few hours ago back at Perth, Sweet topped Dane Kingshot and Callum Williamson. Interesting to see too, Ty Wolfgang was also in victory lane there with Sweet. So clearly he's trying to get a head start on working with Brad before they begin their sprint car season in the United States. Sprint car teams in the West will be back to Bunbury on Saturday. And then at Western Springs, buddy Kofoid picked up the midget win in the World International feature. He topped Michael Pickens and Caden Brown. Pro Speed Car Week also gets rolling here soon with 4 nights across Victoria and South Australia. Speed cars in Australia, those are midgets. So if you're not aware of that, if you hear speed car, that means midget in Australia and New Zealand. USAC and Flow Racing's Drake York is going to be on the call for those races with Wade Onger. They've got stops at Southern 500 Speedway, Borderline, Simpson, and Premier coming up. Check out our friends at Clape Review to watch a bunch of the action from Down Under. You can also catch highlights over on their YouTube channel. All right, that's the Daily Show for this week. Now that the season is getting rolling again, make sure to stop by DIRTRACKR.com and check out the streaming schedule. We keep that updated with everything from a bunch of the different streaming services, and you can find links to watch everything. Hope you guys have a great Thursday and a great weekend out there. We'll see you right back here on Sunday.